G'day guys, this is the 10th video in the series now, and to celebrate we're going to go back and start refactoring, basically taking code that's already done, that works beautifully and is great, but we're going to change it because we don't like it anymore. So I've just finished putting in the system where I can place these walls. He will come and run over and build them for me, but right now he's not going and picking up resources to build it. I'll show you. We put in a wall order, he'll go and he'll just build it. So he is building it. There's no little sound effects or anything yet, but it goes from 0% to 100%. But the next thing is we need to be able to actually say, oh, this is a wood wall. He needs some wood. Go get some wood. And I was thinking, well, before I go and add more to the item system, am I happy with the current item system? It's working okay, but the map's going to end up being really big. And it's not really efficient to have like hundreds and hundreds or even thousands of sprites all being drawn separately. So what we're going to do is we're going to bring the items and the trees, all of that in line with the new building system, and they're going to be put straight onto a layer of the tile map, which means we're going to break a bit of stuff that already works, but that's the way it goes. Let's do it. So first thing we need to do is let's just look at how our wall works, and we can see first it's based on a normal node, and all my items are based on this item base, which is based on a sprite. So first thing we do, we're going to right click on him and we're going to break it all by changing his type to just a basic node. And then we'll look at our script. So let me think. First thing we need to do is go to the wall, and we're going to need these three. And in fact, this whole top thing here. So what we've got is the tile map index, and what that is, if we look at our terrain's tile maps, the index is 00, 10, 20, and we're also going to have to remember which tile map they're on. So first thing I need to do is actually make sure all my objects are added here. Wrong one, tile set. Yes, I would. So there's all my little tiles. And so this is tile number 1. And so let's go. And in fact, before when I do this, I'm going to refactor even more stuff. Tile map index, what I've got that set for right now is to be, as I just said, this index here, 00, 10, 20. What I'm going to do is now make it the tile map index will be, am I on this one, number 0, number 1, or number 2? And then we'll have like the position on here as a separate thing. So we're fixing a lot of stuff today. So this one is now going to be an int, and we're going to go another one, export tile map position, and that will be a vector 2i. And so my basic item is going to be on tile map number 1, and let's just make it 00. And then let's go to all the items we've already put in, and see, this is why I wanted to get this done now before I put in too many. Let's do the berries, and let's change this one as well. It's going to be a node, and it's going to extend items still, so that's going to stay the same. And all this will still work, which is good. I think it'll still work. And so berries should also have the tile map index, all the stuff from the higher level class, the item class. Good, so that's not going to break too much. All I've got to do is change that picture. For the simple meal, we'll do the same thing. And the only thing I really need to do is go back and actually give it. So he's going to be tile map index number 1. And the berries, if I look at this one, the berries are 0, 1, 2x and 1y, so 2, 1. 2, 1. The simple meal, it's this one here, so it's 2, 0. We'll have to do it also with our plants. So the berry bush, we'll get rid of that click target. That was for more of a test thing we did. We don't need it anymore. Change his type back to a node. And we don't have to change anything else here because once again, he inherits that item. Oh, now see, here's a problem. We can't link the ItemManager anymore. So let's just comment that out for now, and we'll have to work out how that works later. That's the part that after you harvest the berry bush, it spawns the new items onto the map. So we'll have to deal with that. Now the berry bush is this one here, the full berry bush. Oh, we'll have to work out something for full one and empty one, but let's do that later. So that's 1, 1. 1, 1, 1. Have I forgotten anything? There's the bow, which we haven't done anything with yet. I've done so little with it, it's still called a sword here. And the bow is this one here, so it's 2, 2. And finally, the sword. What? Well, that was wrong, but let's fix that up. So it's not going to be a sprite 2D anymore. And then we just have to tell it what is its position on the tile map. 0, so 1 and 2. Another thing I think, if I do it this way, a lot of this can be added just through programs later. So if you've got a new tile map to add, you can add it to the list. I think this will help with things like mods, where I can have 100 objects loaded and there's no setting up. You just say, hey, it just needs to know its tile map index, its position, and if it knows it's a weapon, it'll get all the information from the weapon. I think this will work better, but let's see how we go. All right, so that's all done. Let's play it and see how much stuff breaks. All right, so of course the first thing that goes wrong is spawning items, because nodes cannot actually be added to the item manager. That's what's happening right now. Well, what was happening was all my sprites were being charted to the item manager so they can appear on the screen. So let's think about how we're going to fix that. Okay, so my item manager is going to need some updating. Okay, so here's what we'll do. We've got our list of items in the world. We've got our list of item prototypes. Let's make sure that's loading up properly. So load item prototypes. It'll go through to the items list. It'll find all the TSN files. It'll load it. Let's make it, instead of keeping the actual TSCN files in there, let's make it actually instantiate them in there. So then I'll have an actual full copy of the file there. Now, if I don't do that, I won't have access to these numbers if I don't instantiate it. So I'll have to instantiate them. So then they're loaded. You know what? I think I want to take this away from the item manager. Let's stop spawning these in for now. And I think what I'm actually going to do is I'm going to start handling a lot of the objects, not in the item manager, but in the terrain. So I want to put down trees. It's all going to be on the terrain system. The terrain is the actual tile map we're talking about. So let's do it here. And also I want to have things like here when I'm generating my terrain automatically, I want to be putting down trees as well. So what I'd love to be able to do is, let's say here. So this one here, this is everything going on the grass. This is the grass being drawn when I do my 2D map. So when I say terrain, I press generate. It's this part here. And let's make it so some trees spawn on here as well. So it helps me sometimes if I work it backwards. So let's just say I've got a random number generator here. So let's say if rng.randyRange, and let's say 0 in 20 chance. And what should it be? Place, I think place, item by name. And I'd love to just be able to say tree. Oops, not treat, tree. And then this is the position here from the X and Y. If you want to know better how this whole method works, that's in our first video. All right, so place item by name. Yeah, I think that's a good way to do it. So let's go back up here. And it works with our place construction order, I think. Place item by name. And we've got the item name, which is a string. And we've got the terrain position, terrain pos, which is a vector 2i. And the first thing this needs to do is get the prototype item from the item manager. So prototype is going to be item manager. And let's say find item prototype, item name. So that's the first thing we need to do. Have I done this already? I've probably got something similar. Nope. Okay. find item prototype, and that's just going to take the item name, which is a string. Let's say find new item equals null. All right, so now we just have to search through the list of item prototypes and return the right one. So just for item in item prototypes, if item.name equals item name, new item equals item.duplicate, and then we just return the new item. Good. I like this because we're actually going to be grabbing the item itself. It's going to be grabbing this name here. So if I ask for a wall, it'll grab this one. If I ask for a tree, where are my trees? Have I actually done a tree yet? I haven't done a tree. So it'll be in my plants. It'll be a copy of the berry bush. We'll keep everything else the same for now. I might make a separate extension of plant for trees, but for now, let's just get that position, that icon position. Here we go. Tree is 0, 0. Okay, so now we've got trees. Okay, so we find the item prototype. We go back to terrain. We've got the item prototype now. This guy does not have a link to the item manager. Item manager. Good. Okay. So we're going to go var the new item equals the prototype, and let's make a duplicate of that. Now I've just realized, did I already duplicate that? I did. So let's not duplicate it here. Let's just return the actual prototype. No point in duplicating it there. Before we actually draw it onto the map using set cell, we need to know what layer to put it on. I think what I'll actually do, let's make a more basic one. So func place item. So this one's going to actually take an item and just put it on the terrain pos. What we'll do is we'll get the layer, which for now will be null. Let's say if the item is just a basic item, then the layer is going to be terrain layer dot items. Did I make one for that? I've got built. Let's make one for items as well. So let's see. So we'll have the built stuff, then the items, and all the UI ghosts and things. So let's go items 2. This one will be 3. That one will be 4. Layer items. I spelled layer wrong. And we'll add it. Let's have a list of items similar to my constructions. So not a list, sorry. Let's have a dictionary. So items. I have a dictionary, which will be the same. They'll be by position first. So it'll be items with the terrain pos equals item. Or else, if item is a wall, and we might break it up into constructions later, it's going to be layer equals terrain layer dot built, and then this one will go into the constructions. Okay, so the item dot position is going to be the terrain world position of the terrain pos. So that converts the terrain pos into the world position, and then the items terrain equals this one. What's going on here? I'm going to find type of wall. Forgot to do that. add those. So var position. The reason we've got to do this is for the same thing as the wall. The wall needs to know where it is. And if it was extended from a node 2D, it would already have that. But since it's extending from a node, it doesn't. Same thing for the terrain. It needs to know its own terrain. So that's what we've just linked to. And I'm pretty much just copying that. So my items, not vector 2D, vector 2. All right, so now I think I've got everything I need to actually place it. So let's copy and paste this big ass method here. So its layer is going to be layer, its terrain pos is going to be terrain pos. So now this is the actual tile set it's coming from. We've got that now. That's going to be item.tilemap index. And this one is now the item.tilemap pos, I think I called it. Let me confirm that. Tilemap index, tilemap pos. Excellent. So that should work to place items. So let's, if we're really lucky now, we'll have trees when we generate this. So let's see if we're really lucky. Nope, no trees. Find item prototype. Oh, of course, it's because my ItemManager doesn't work in the editor, so we just need to add this tool right here. Whenever you add something as a tool, you have to reload the current project. All right, let's give that a try. Still no trees. So let's try and track it down. So we are generating the terrain. It is generating the terrain. Let's go to our terrain. Let's make sure it's actually trying to place items. Placing item, item.name. Let's give that a try. And we should get a whole lot of trees. All right, it's going to work for me now. So it says it's placing items, but it's not. So are we getting as far as here? We are not. Are we getting as far as here? Oh, I forgot to actually run this one. What a dickhead. Place item, and we actually pass through the item, and we pass through the terrain pass. Okay, let's give that a try. Invalid set index position on node plant. I think this doesn't have position, but this does. So I think my problem is they're just not activated in the editor. All right, let's give it a try now. Whoops. And same problem. Invalid set index position terrain number 58. So let's go to terrain. We're getting up to line 58. We're just going item on our plant. Maybe it's just, we need to make that a tool as well. Maybe tool doesn't extend. We'll find out. All right, it's going to work for me this time. And there we go. We got all our trees. Not sure why they're invisible, but, oh, and they're also not being clear. I'm getting more trees every time. All right. First, let's work out, well, listen, they're not being cleared because they're not being cleared. Let's go fix that. So when we go clear terrain, we also need to make sure we're clearing the items. So let's put a clear in here, because before we didn't have to clear anything. We were just writing over the old values for the terrain. Everything was getting rewritten. The trees are not. And we also need to clear out these items. And that should do it. Since we're here, let's also do the constructions, even though we're not generating them here. And let's add all that to our clear button as well. All right, let's give that a go. So now we've only got them. Yeah, we've only got trees in the grassy areas. All right. Now, of course, we would want to have trees in the other areas as well. We may have different varieties of trees in different areas, or I may just make it so there's a 1 in 20 chance here, a 1 in 50 chance, 1 in 100 chance, and as you go up, there's less and less, and then 0 chance of there being trees. But I really am just testing to make sure I can actually draw objects. I'm not sure why they're invisible. When I run the game, are they going to be invisible? They are invisible. All right. Let's go have a look at our terrain. All right, so we're setting, when we start, we're setting this layer, the construction ghosts, to be partially invisible. Let's make the items layer just normal. And then try that. There we go, and now we have lovely trees. Let's see if the berry bushes work as well. So the berry bushes, they're called berry space bush. So if we go in here, where we generate our trees, and let's say we have a 1 in 20 chance of it being a tree. Let's go, and if it's not a tree, let's give it another 1 in 20 chance of being a berry bush. In fact, berry bushes I want to be much less likely. Let's try that. My berry bushes, yeah, they should work. All right. Terrain, generate, and yeah, there's my berry bush. Still invisible here. Let me try, since I've got this line in ready. I wonder if I put it into process, it'll be run here. No, it's not being run here. I think ready will be run when I reload. No, still no. Oh, well, I don't care that much because it's just in the startup bit. I'll try and work it out later. I wonder if I can just do it down here. Build. Oh, I know why, because I haven't actually put in a layer for items yet. What a dickhead I am. So let's add one more layer. And so what was it? It was, nope, that's item categories. I want terrain. And so it's going to be base, build, items, construction, ghosts. So base, build, items, construction, ghosts. And now this one's set to solid. Is that going to work now? You can see that's the right one. Not sure why they're half invisible, but whatever. And since I've just added that one, I've just realized I need to go back to my UI, and you can see everywhere here. Oh, I have done the layers correctly here. Good. I just have to fix this placing prototype tilemap index, because I bet I'm going to have an error when I try and build now. Oh no, that still works. Let's have a look at my walls. Oh, it's because I didn't update these actually yet. Let's update them and break them. And so for memory, that's going to be number 2. That's going to be number 0, number 1. And the other one is the door, which is number 2, and then 1, one. Hopefully I remember that correctly. Then we go back to our UI. And that's now going to go here. And that will be tilemap pos. So let's go through and quickly fix all those. Okay, I can't see any other set cells where I've written a 2 manually. So let's see if it's going to work still. Nope, didn't like that. Oh, I didn't do this one. Where's this one? This is under terrain. All right, let's try that. Instruction.tile map index and tile map pos, and I can see, I'm sure you all saw when I did that. All right. All right, so when I press structures and wall, it should be drawing it on the screen here. Let's work out why it's not doing that. That will be in UI. This is the fun of refactoring your code, making it better and breaking crap. It's often better just to leave bad code where it is than spending all your life going back and making it more and more perfect at every time. There's no end to that, but this is a pretty big system and it's right at the base. So I wanted to fix this one first. The wall should be 1, 0. Is that the only problem? I was drawing one that doesn't exist. Yeah, that's it. I was drawing something that doesn't exist. There we go. Not as bad as what I thought. Okay, so we've fixed that now. Let's make sure doors work. I didn't screw that one up too. Yeah, there's my door. All right, so now we can more easily draw items onto the map and spawn them into the world just by using a nice little place items by name and where to put it. And we can call that from elsewhere by talking to the terrain. Something that will still be broken will be the orders going and eating food and things like that. He won't be able to find the food anymore until I fix that. I'm not really interested in fixing that today. What I want to do next is place some wood. So I'll tell you what I wanted to be able to do was tell him to get some wood before he starts digging the walls. Why don't I next actually have harvesting of these trees, and then I'll fix the order system in the next and we'll be all good again. Yep, I love that. All right, guys. Well, I hope I can cut this down to something reasonable. There was a lot of me just staring. What have I done? What have I got to do next? And what have I broken as I made this? So hopefully I can cut down to something reasonable. Now, at least one of you told me you wanted to see me doing some refactoring, so blame that guy. But if you're still around, thanks for hanging around. I think this has made the code a bit better. I know some of you guys are probably screaming at me that I've left a whole bunch of crap in the item manager that's not being used anymore. I will have to go in at some point and get rid of it. So find nearest item. That's finding stuff on the map, finding sprites. That's not going to be right anymore. Is item in category is not going to be used anymore because someone introduced me to this idea, which I already used, where I can just go if the item is an item or is a wall. So there's a bunch of stuff I've learned since I started this project. And well, I guess that's enough of me for today. Thanks for hanging around. Please, if you think I did anything stupid, let me know, because some of you guys are learning from me. I'm also learning from my betters here as well. So if I did something dumb or you think, hey, Jake, you could do this in a better way, please feel free to let me know. There's a Discord set up now, so you can go down there. The link's in the description. Go there, have a chat with the other guys, ask me questions, ask them questions, and hopefully we can all get a bit better at what we're doing here. All right, well, that's enough of waffling. Thanks, guys. See you later.